All right, I just got done attempting to talk about this on Stephen Avery Project, and my laptop kept breaking, or power kept going out on my laptop. First, I thought it was power in my house, but apparently my laptop is now fried. So it kept cutting out on me. So you can see on Stephen Avery Project 3 different times that I tried to go live to discuss this. I'm now pulling up on my phone the article. We have this posted here in Gossip and everywhere. I'm going to read it from my phone now since I can't use my laptop and have my 2 different screens. So, the article is on Newsweek by Kelly Wynn, and it's titled Making a Murderer Confession. Convicted Wisconsin murderer allegedly confesses to killing Teresa Halbach. A Wisconsin inmate has allegedly confessed to the murder of Teresa Halbach. The inmate, who is unnamed until Wisconsin law enforcement has access to the said confession, told filmmakers of upcoming documentary series Convicting a Murderer that he was responsible for the infamous death as seen on Making a Murderer. Currently, there are 2 men behind bars for Halbach's death. Both claim they are innocent. Stephen Avery and Brendan Dassey have both spent years fighting for their freedom. Dassey took his case all the way to the Supreme Court, where his attempt at a new trial was rejected, while Avery continues the appeal process. Sean Reck, director of Convicting a Murderer, told Newsweek his crew were given the confession while filming the documentary series. We haven't confirmed the legitimacy of the confession, but seeing as it was given by a notable convicted murderer of Wisconsin, we feel responsible to deliver any and all possible evidence to law enforcement and legal teams, he told Newsweek. Having been in production for 20 months, we've uncovered an unfathomable amount of information and evidence that is leading us to the truth. Our investigation does not end here. Reck also confirmed the confession did not come from Dassey or Avery. If the secret inmate's confession is found reliable, it could spark freedom for both Dassey and Avery. Much of America joined forces to support exoneration for the uncle and nephew pair after 2 parts of Making a Murderer premiered on Netflix in 2016. The documentary series took viewers into the lives of Dassey and Avery's families while diving deep into forensic evidence that could point at a third-party killer. Kathleen Zellner, Avery's current lawyer, has a handful of theories that point to other members of the Dassey family as Halbach's killers. She's spent years recreating parts of the crime scene and evidence in hopes of proving Avery couldn't have committed the murder he is convicted of. If Avery is exonerated, it will be the second time he was wrongly convicted of a violent crime in the state of Wisconsin. Convicting a Murderer is a 10-part documentary series currently in post-production, according to the Internet Movie Database. The series aims to be a sequel to Making a Murderer, but will include parts the Netflix series left out, Reck told Newsweek in January. I watched Making a Murderer like tens of millions of others, Reck said. After watching the series, I was angry with law enforcement and even embarrassed as an American because of what appeared to have happened to Stephen and Brendan. But after doing a little bit of follow-up research, I learned that not only did I not have the whole story, but I was misled by the series. That really pisses me off. And I'm saying this as a fan, not as an established documentary filmmaker. In the docu-series, a handful of law enforcement figures who believe Avery is guilty, like Andy Colborn, are expected to appear. Convicting a Murderer is expected to come out on a to-be-determined streaming platform in 2020, according to Reck, who said it will be finalized in March. So, again, the things I've addressed on Stephen Avery Project on this article that I do not like. I do not like them claiming it would be a sequel to Making a Murderer, because it cannot be a sequel to Making a Murderer unless it's made by the documentarians who made Making a Murderer. This is some people that's trying to use the notoriety of this case to sell their own story. So So it's not a sequel. I really don't like claiming that they were misled by Making a Murderer, because nobody has been misled by Making a Murderer. Making a Murderer gave us what they could. The state and the Halbach family refused to participate. So therefore, you're not going to have in-depth information from that side of the case. Sky, I'm sorry. Yeah, Window Jesus. Oh, I even have that window closed because that's over by where my other laptop is. So that's why in Making a Murderer that they showed the press conferences that Sweaty Sweat Sweat and Mike Halbach did, because it was the only way they could show you the other side. So the documentarians have never taken a side in this. They've only shown us the evidence. And they can't show us everything. It would take forever for them to show all of that. There's no way. So it has to be edited. And so for everything a guilter says that you didn't show this would point to guilt, there's also stuff that points to innocence that wasn't included in it either. So let's just stop right there. And those of us who are here in MAM Gossip, I'm going to guess you've actually read some files and such that of the case. You haven't come to your decision on anything just from watching Making a Murderer. You watched Making a Murderer and wanted to know more. And that's how you end up here in MAM Gossip. So you're not just convinced by a show. So I don't like that either. I do not like them talking about how they talked to this inmate in January. So have they been sitting on this since January that somebody else confessed? Because that's bullshit right there. So you think you have somebody who's the real killer, but you're going to let Stephen and Brendan sit in prison for another 9-10 months before it gets brought up? Why wouldn't you have brought it to law enforcement as soon as you get it, so it could be investigated right away? Why was it sat on? So we're gonna share this and discuss it because it is news. Is it credible? We don't know, because we know that Convicting a Murderer started out to be a guilter piece. So, we're going to show you all sides of it. So that's why we will talk about this Convicting a Murderer. But we know nothing on this, on how credible this is at all. I made this pitch on the last Steven Avery Project video I did, so it would be take 3. If anybody has any contact with this guy, this Chris Reck or whatever his name is, ask him if he wants to do a live on Steven Avery Project. And we'll discuss his Convicting a Murderer on there. Where, we have the biggest audience outside of Netflix when it comes to this case. So come on to Steven Avery Project and talk with me, and you all could post your questions and whatnot. We realize that he won't give us everything that he knows because he still wants to shop his thing. And then also, if it is a legal thing now, he won't be able to share. But let's bring him on to Steven Avery Project and chat with him about some things. So if you want to reach out on Twitter, because I don't go on Twitter or know any of that, so feel free to act on my behalf and contact this Convicting a Murderer dude and see if he wants to do a live on Steven Avery Project on the public page where it will get the most traffic. So I don't know. I mean, it completely blows out of the water every single theory there is, or the most common theories anyway, because there's always a theory that somebody was paid to do it by law enforcement because they needed something to frame Stephen with. And then, Kathleen just tweeted, somebody go get that. I don't have Twitter on my phone. And now I can't do it on my iPad to go pull it up. So somebody go get me what Kathleen just tweeted. Nice time for my laptop to break. What was I saying now before Kathleen tweeted? Just took me... Ooh, somebody just messaged me what Kathleen tweeted. Thank you, Tom. Tom sent me that Kathleen tweeted, Avery tips. Our investigators are checking out the credible ones and disregarding the ones without corroboration, just like good cops should do. Our brief is due on 10/14. So her tweet did not address this. Because if it was addressing this, she also would have included hashtag Newsweek and the link. But she doesn't have that on here. She's got hashtags making a murderer. Then there's Love El Paso. Don't know why Love El Paso, but maybe that's where another one of her cases are. And then Life After 10 is Ryan Ferguson. And then Erin Moriarty is 48 Hours, who covers the Melissa Kaluzinski case that Kathleen is also the attorney on. And thank you, Rebecca. Rebecca's posting the text in here of what the Zellner tweet was. So, does not address this. Thank you. Sending a thank you back to Tom in the message, too, but I think he's watching it right now, too. What was I rambling about before Kathleen tweeted? The other theory is that Teresa had a lifestyle that could have gotten her in trouble. Because Teresa took those boudoir photos, and she took photos of a married couple. Then they became a threesome, and then the guy left his wife for Teresa. So those would be the only things we know of that if you're going to go at that this is somebody completely that nobody's ever thought of, a theory that nobody's ever, gone down that rabbit hole. That's what those would lead to, right? So I don't think too much of this, because to me, all the evidence posts to Bobby Dassey, and with Scott Halbach's help in some form. So, but all I know for sure is Stephen and Brendan are innocent. So if it turns out that it's some different third party, okay. No, I just got sent something else. Okay, no, I got sent the Zellner tweet again. I want to talk to this guy, this documentarian. So, all right, I think I'm going to get off of here now. I wasn't planning on being live. I've got a press conference that I have to be part of tomorrow morning, and I have stuff I need to prepare for that. That what time is it? 5 o'clock, and it's getting dark here, and I have to go to do some stuff outside. So, Brandon says, take note that Kratz is already deflecting. If it's not a publicity stunt, expect a lot of I don't know and we didn't have that info. Yeah. Kratz is such a dirtbag. Yeah. So, all right. I'm out for now. If anything else pops up, we'll go live again. Please reach out to this documentarian on Twitter, since that's where he seems to be, and see if he wants to do a live on Stephen Avery Project to talk about his documentary. And then other than that, okay, before I go, I'm going down to the prison on Wednesday. I'm visiting with Marnie Yang. Do not know at this time if I'm going to be visiting Melissa also. That day is her dad's birthday. So I guess her dad might be going to visit Melissa. Melissa's supposed to let me know if I'm visiting her too or not. I need to visit Marnie because we're filing for Marnie on October 1st. And we need some current photos of Marnie for the press conference. So, yeah, Leanne saying good luck on the visit. Hopefully they aren't locked down this time. I'll need to remember Wednesday morning to call the prison first before I take the drive down there. So, and they only do pictures from like 12:30 to 1:30. So I have to time everything for that. But then I also have a big event I'm doing that I've organized with the state representative. And so I have to be back by 5 for that event for setup and, so I have to, do a projector and PA system and all this kind of stuff. So time is a little crazy for me on Wednesday with the 2.5-hour drive and stuff. So I won't be able to visit as long, but that's why I also need to know if I'm visiting both Melissa and Marnie so I can chop up the time to give them the time before count comes. They don't allow anybody in and out of the prison at 2 or 2:30 because they never do it the same. So I have to then be done with the visits by 2 so I can get out. Otherwise, I can't get out till like 4 or 5, and it's a 2.5-hour drive back. So I will go live maybe Thursday, and I could update you all then on my visit at the prison. And Kathleen is not set to file for Stephen until October 14th, as she says in that tweet. I know we've been given a couple different dates, but October 14th seems to be the date currently. So, all right, then I'm out, and we will talk soon.